Welcome, my lovely lilies, to the Shikawan Totob, the nation of the four winds. Please sit by the fire, for today we have a brand new entry to the nation. Route 1134. A beautiful lady dressed in white, late for her wedding on this dreary night. Her car broke down, and she had no one to help her, was forced to walk the cold road in this late December. A car was coming through. She had started to feel relief. The car had come so quick, it was very brief. That car slammed on its brakes. However, it was too late. The beautiful bride had already met her fate. The driver got scared, so he left her to die, feeling no remorse, not even a cry. Now the bride haunts this dark, old, quiet road, taking revenge because the curse that was bestowed. If she sees you, she will ask to be your bride. However, if you tell her no, she will eat you alive. So be careful when friends dare you to explore. No one gets out alive on Route 1134. Mr. Smiley. Have you ever been woken in the middle of the night and seen something so scary, a horrible sight? There's a clown they call Mr. Smiley. He loves to bring fear. He comes at night to visit when nobody's near. Don't be fooled by his name and long white grin. This is not a nightmare. Oh, it's not pretend. Long weary beard and thin frail bones. You're too afraid to move. You're not alone. Mr. Smiley will offer you a pretty red balloon, but when you take it, that's when you have sealed your doom. Mr. Smiley likes to play, but he doesn't play nice. So before you take a balloon, you better think twice. He visits a house, at least one a night, so you better lock your doors. It just may be your house tonight. Dance, Grandpa, dance. One stormy, gloomy day, a boy received some news that he would never forget. He heard about the passing of his grandfather. The boy and his grandfather were very close, so he was sad. A few days later, it was time for the funeral. Everyone came dressed in black. The boy looked inside the coffin to see his grandfather for the very last time. The old man was lying there with a smile, accompanied by wrinkles on his face. He was wearing his favorite hat, a black fedora that matched his white button-up shirt, black suspenders, and black slacks. The boy held back his tears as the service began. Everybody listened as the preacher spoke of the man and his accomplishments. He felt very proud of his grandfather. As he looked around the gravesite, he noticed everybody was crying and hiding their tears behind their glasses. As the preacher brought the sermon to a close, he asked that they all bow their heads in a prayer. The boy lowered his head as the prayer began. Soon after the preacher started, the boy looked up at his grandfather. He couldn't keep his eyes off the man. After a couple of seconds went by, the boy had witnessed something he could never quite explain. He'd seen his grandfather sit up and turn his head to him. His mouth had slowly grown into a big smile, almost a devilish grin. Then the old man had hopped up and began to dance around the graveyard. His grandfather had danced and danced. He had moved as if he were young again. However, you could hear the clickety-click of the old man's frail and brittle bones. The old man made his way over to his wife, the now widowed grandmother of the little boy, and whispered into her ear. As he spoke, a smile rose upon her face. The old man then gave her a kiss on the cheek and began to dance his way back to his coffin. The old man sat back down in his coffin, but before he laid back into his final resting position, he took a long look at the boy and gave him a smile, a wink, and then tipped his hat. Right after the preacher said amen, the boy rubbed his eyes, not knowing if what he had seen was real or if it was just his imagination. The boy then watched everyone say their final goodbyes as he and his family got ready to head back home. When they arrived home, the boy decided to call it an early night due to the sad occasion and busy day. The next morning, he woke up to his mom sitting at the kitchen table with her head down, sobbing aloud, phone clutched in her hand. "Mom, what's wrong?" the boy asked. It's your grandma. She's dead. Your father went to her house to check on her this morning, to see how she was doing. He found her hanging from the chandelier in the foyer, and in the pocket a note that read, "I did it, just like you asked. Now we'll be together again.